Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Rao. And joining me for this show today is Ishan Shahane, Debashish Sen, and Shomik Chakrabarti, who's joining us from on ground in Kanpur. And Shomik, let's go to you right away. What is the weather like? Is there rain or not?
What?
And is the pitch finally dry or not?
No, it's absolutely sunny, Gagi, and the two teams are warming up. It's a scheduled start at 9:30 a.m. and very likely they will play 98 overs today. Light permitting, but we have
So
only two
finally,
days of play.
after three, yeah. Go on, go
Sorry,
on. Go on.
sorry. Please carry on.
No, I was just saying after 3 days, we're going to see some, timely start and then some cricketing action.
Exactly, but then again, with just 2 days left, uh, I draw is a very likely outcome because I mean, unless there is some this game or this game uh, spectacular collapses and batting collapses are needed. Let's see if it happens. If that can happen, maybe tomorrow towards the fag end of the day, we are going to have a result. But given the pitch still will have a lot of moisture to start with. But given the slow nature of the pitch, it's very unlikely that we will have a result in this game.
Ishan and Debashish, I want to ask you that, of course, what are you expecting out of the 2 days that are remaining? But how does this affect Team India when it comes to WTC points? And is this sort of going to hamper India's chances for WTC?
Not really, not really. It means I would still consider that India should make it to the final of the WTC. Yes, a draw will, India will get only 4 points if it's a draw. But considering that India played three test matches against New Zealand, so one would expect that India should start as favorites to win at least three. If it is all likely that India will be the favorites to win the series. But then if only if is there if India loses a test match against New Zealand, then it becomes a little bit trickier. Then India will have to win at least couple of tests, at least Australia, which might be a altogether difficult proposition. So as of now, it's looking that India should be the favorite. But then we need to ask questions as to why was this test match being held at the first place in a center like Kanpur, where the stadium is not owned by the state association. So with such, we have been seeing the visuals and images for the last 3 days, the mismanagement, the ground drainage facility. See, already the test viewership is on a downslide. Now, if you have such kind of test matches where the infrastructure, there's a lack of infrastructure, then more and more people will not get interested because waking up in the morning 9:30, then you see the entire day at 2 p.m. you get to know that the match is called off. So it is not doing any thing for the game as far as test matches is concerned. Kalki.
Absolutely, you raise valid points because imagine someone who's taken a special leave from their work to come and see the match, and there's no match happening. That would not be good. Ishan, what about you? What do you think going forward? How will this affect India? Do you think that it will have an adverse effect, or India is capable enough to make it against Australia?
I think we're still in safe waters at the moment, Gagi. But that Test match against New Zealand and that Test series will be very important. But we've also said in the past that a side like I think everyone is a bit worried at the same time that we might that the chances can be hampered is because this New Zealand side is very unpredictable in that sense that this team can go on and beat an Indian team also if they put out a good performance. Having said that, yes, like Devashita mentioned, Indians are definitely the favorites here, and all of us are expecting them to have a comfortable Test series win. But this New Zealand side, you can't ever take them for granted. This is a side that can beat India on a given day. So that's the only question mark out here. Because if that does happen, then obviously that pressure against Australia will be even so a lot more. And besides that, I feel that, like Devashita mentioned, more precautions should have been taken, more basic facilities should have been at this particular venue where this match has been played in Kanpur. So I think all of these issues could have been resolved, which wouldn't have made this seem as such a big difficulty as it is at the moment, Gagi. So hopefully it should be all good. Not at the moment, there's not much of a worrying problem, but it can be if it can be in the future if that test series against New Zealand does not end up in India's way.
Shomit, your thoughts on the same?
See, I mean, if going ahead, things become tight for India, a washout, sort of a couple of days of washouts in this game might hurt. On the flip side, India will play another 7 tests, 8 tests after the Bangladesh series, and will have to win 3 matches to seal their spot. So you expect them to win 3 out of 8. So I don't see it's going to be a problem. But I mean, keeping the WTC final in isolation in
Shomit,
modern
we
day
lost
cricket,
you
I
there
said
for a
this
little bit.
yesterday. Am I audible
We lost.
now? Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. So what I'm saying that I mean, see, after the Bangladesh series, India will play another 8 test matches before the WTC final, and they will have to win 3 of them to guarantee a spot for the final. Now, you expect this Indian team, this is a world class team, and you expect this Indian team to win 3 out of 8. Um, in any case, if things become tighter going ahead, this Kanpur test might hurt, but I don't see too much. But keeping WTC final in isolation, my point is, I said that yesterday also. In modern day cricket, when there is no rain, their game has to go on. There has to play. So I mean, as far as the required standards is concerned, Green Park has failed to meet them. And I have spoken to we have done a story on I mean the whole infrastructure and anything, and even the UPC officials are now apprehensive that they are not going to get international matches at least for the time being until the entire thing is rejigged.
And I was just looking at the visuals, and the teams are warming up. So, good signs coming from Kanpur. That's a great sign, a positive sign for a start in the day, a timely start. Devashish, if I were to ask you, only 35 overs bowled so far. What are you expecting to see out of the Indian bowlers at this point?
Yeah, as Homida mentioned at the start that there will be moisture on the wicket. So hopefully the Indian fast bowlers, the likes of Siraj, Bumrah, and Akashdeep, will utilize the conditions and get some early inroads. Means if they can get at least 3 4 wickets before the lunch, then we can still might have a result in this test match. So remember, Bangladesh were bowled out for 47.1 overs in the first innings of the first test match. So anything can be possible, even and given the pace attack and the conditions, yes, it's bright and sunny, but there will be still some moisture and juice in the wicket. So if they can utilize the condition and make in early inroads, for us make get 2 3 wickets before lunch, anything might be possible. If Bangladesh are bowled out, say they are already 107 odd. So if they are bowled out for at least that 200 then means India have to bat really aggressively and with a positive intent so as to make a match out of it. Means very rarely do you find that a test match after 3 days are wasted you get a result. Means and it has not happened since 2014. There was a test match in West Indies, if I remember, 2016 it was, when the first 3 days were washed out, but it was a draw. So let's hope, let's keep our fingers crossed. But the key for India will be to see their fast bowlers getting in early wickets, at least session one on day four.
All right, and we have the official confirmation. Play is set to start at 9:30 a.m. So good news at that as well. But Ishan, same question to you as I asked Debashish. What are you expecting out of the Indian bowlers today, given the conditions of the pitch?
I think they're going to run in hard. I think we're forgetting that they're extremely fresh at the moment, Gagi, as well. You know, those 2 days just resting. I feel will be fired up to run in and get those wickets. And yes, the Bangladesh batting has been exposed. So definitely the Indians will have that upper end in this match, in this battle for now. Getting a result will be difficult, but this Bangladesh side is again one of those teams that can crumble under pressure. Even if they know that this game is going to be a draw, the chances of a win or a loss aren't there. We can just end it up with a draw. That at times can also add pressure to them, and they might end up believing that they have nothing to lose. But eventually, suddenly, if a couple of wickets start falling, the pressure tends to get through the side, Gagi. So I won't be surprised if the bowlers end up getting some quick wickets, and if that does happen, then we can see this Bangladesh side crumble really, really soon. So hoping for the best. I think the bowlers will be fresh. They'll be looking to run in hard and get those quick wickets early on.
Absolutely. And Shomek, we have a comment here. Freaking awesome is saying India have won the highest number of away tests, 11 tests since the beginning of the WTC in 2019. Australia and England have won 10 away tests. What do you say about this going forward? India is definitely the
Credit
most
goes to
successful. Very close, yeah,
credit
exactly.
goes to credit goes to Virat Kohli. I tell you, when 2014 in Australia, MS Dhoni abruptly called it quits as far as Test cricket is concerned, and Virat Kohli took charge. India were seventh in the ICC Test rankings. India had a military medium pace attack. Over the next 5 years, Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli focused on building a fast bowling group that will take that will take wickets irrespective of conditions. Jasprit Bumrah's emergence was godsend, and around him there was Shami, Ishant, Umesh Yadav, and Virat Kohli himself led from the front as far as overseas batting is concerned, be it in Australia, be it in England. It is bringing Rohit Sharma to open the innings in Test cricket as his brainchild. Rohit, before he started opening the innings, he was playing in the middle order and he was inconsistent. I two very significant impact have been made by two captains over the last 25 years. One is Saurabh Ganguly, who took charge at the turn of the century when Indian cricket was in ferment, and he built it from the scratch and gave India that mindset that we will have to win overseas. And Virat, the great player that he is, and the aggressive player by nature that he is, he put a he. I mean, it was a matter of pride for him to be on the road and win things. India won back-to-back series in Australia. India drew a series in England where they were leading 2-1. So credit entirely. I mean, not entirely because cricket is a team sport, but the majority of the credit goes to Virat Kohli.
Yeah. And King D here is asking, why don't they buy England hover covers like in England? See, that's a question we've all been asking. Even if they get covers like that in Eden Gardens, I think that would be more than enough.
I, I
Devashish?
I'm te- I'm interrupting about this hover cover. I had conversations with a lot of curators about whether we should have hover covers. I mean, it's not a big deal bringing on hover covers, but in places like Eden Gardens, where in the summer we have nor'wester, hover cover will not be able to stand the gust. So that's why they don't use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That just plain covers like the ones in Eden Gardens that I use to cover the entire ground. I think those are more efficient than hover covers because again, hover covers only cover the pitch and the square area. But I think we should end the show because we've discussed everything that we possibly could. Freaking awesome has dropped in another comment. He's saying if India wins 6 out of the 7 remaining tests this year, it will be a world record. No team has won more than 11 tests in a year. Devashish?
But that point is, Gargi, even if India goes on to win 6 out of 7 Test matches, even if India wins 11 Test matches in the year, but the point is to go and win that WTC final. India has been in two WTC finals, but they are yet to win one. So let us not creep about India winning 6 out of 7 test matches, remaining test matches, India winning 11 test matches. It's all fair. And but then the key for India will be to win if they are in the final for the third consecutive times. The key for India will be to win that test WTC final at Lords. Whoever the opponent is, at this moment, it looks like Australia might be the opponent. So, uh, uh, um, so India will definitely have a challenging conditions given the Australian pace attack. Yes, Indian do possess a terrific bowling lineup, but then conditions in at Lords will definitely suit more the Australian pacers along with the Indians. So the key will be India to win that WTC final.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, thank you so much, Ishan, Shomik, and Debashish for joining. I think we're all excited to see some good cricketing action today. So, fingers crossed that we get a full day of play. And thank you, Shomik, and to everyone who's watching. Don't forget to like, share, and